When you do things that are hard, it will take a lot of energy. If you are constantly feeling tired, you will not have a lot of motivation to do things in your life. As you can see, motivation and the inspiration and all these things and your sustained effort, these all have to do with energy. So, how do you improve your energy as a human being? I think energy is developed in two dimensions. One is increasing the total capacity of your energy tank. So that way, you just have a bigger gas tank. Second dimension is to work with the efficiency of your engine. So if you have 100, uh, for example, your total capacity is 100, but you use 20 per minute, then you would only last 5 minutes. Whereas if you use one energy per minute doing the same thing, then you have 100 minutes. So as you can see, efficiency and total capacity are very important in terms of your energy usage. Now, in physical energy, it's a little bit more intuitive to think about developing it. So let's explain energy growth in terms of physical fitness first. Now, I'm no fitness expert. As you can see, I'm not all that muscular, but here's what I learned from my limited experience with fitness. The more you challenge yourself with weights you haven't lifted before, your muscles experience a new level of strain, and then through nutrition and recovery, it becomes bigger. So you can have nutrition and recovery, but without that critical piece of incremental load, you won't necessarily have growth in your total tank. Now, based on my experience, the exercise I had the most difficulty was with bench press. Probably because I have very unstable shoulders and, I don't have developed pecs. So, bench pressing, I remember doing it barely with just the bar. But if I do that, get good nutrition, well rested, and then come back a few days, now I can do that same load. But also, before, I couldn't do the bar and 5 pounds. I couldn't do that before, but now I can. Again, because of that, I'm gonna need good nutrition and then some more rest, and then I come back to 10 pounds along with the bar. Oh, suddenly I find myself that I can do that. So this is a great example of how your physical fitness's capacity grows. You are able to do things that you previously couldn't because your tank is bigger. In the other way, increasing your efficiency. Now, again, with my limited experience of fitness, what I have found is when you are near your depletion, when you are near your limit of basically you had a full energy tank, but then you don't have a lot of energy left, the more you can focus on intentionally using your energy near its limit, the more your efficiency grows. So this is why it's so important to trail until failure, right? You're teaching your body how to use itself until you actually cannot. And as you can see from my t-shirt, I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And there's a saying in Jiu-Jitsu that goes like, if you are tired and you feel like you can't do any more rounds, the round that you do from that state will improve your technique because you can't rely on your strength anymore. You have to rely on technique to make efficient moves to control and hopefully submit your opponent. So just like this, capacity is grown by incremental load, and efficiency is improved by being near your limit and being able to efficiently use your remaining energy until its limit. But okay, you can do the same thing with a lot of stress, right? And when you do the same thing with a lot of stress, it'll feel a lot more tiring. This tells you something. Just like how you can improve your physical health, you can also improve your mental capacity and efficiency. So, how do you do that? Especially when the brain is not an organ you can train with weights. So, in terms of, well, the good news first. In terms of improving your efficiency, it follows the same logic. When you do 108 bows, when you do meditation for a prolonged amount of time, especially near the end, you will be at your limit. You will be near your limit. So for example, you're doing 30 minutes of meditation. Around the 28-minute mark, you're almost gonna go crazy because you just can't hold on to, the state of meditation anymore. But if you are able to collect yourself at that state and come back into focus when your mind is running rampant, now you unlock a completely new level of meditation. You unlock the ability to focus with all of these things going on in your head. And the ability to control your mind under chaos is basically your efficiency in terms of the mind. Because if you can collect yourself and focus on the breath with the mind racing and the body aching, when the body isn't aching, when you don't have a mind that's racing, it's going to be that much easier to focus. It won't require that much energy to come back to the focus. But in terms of growing your capacity, how do you actually grow your capacity? Well, my model of growing the capacity of the mind is through responsibilities. Right now, you have some explicit responsibilities and implicit responsibilities. Explicit responsibility is basically, for example, suppose you're a student, you need to graduate. Suppose you go to work, you're employed, you need to go to work. You need to, perform at your job. You need to do your due diligence at your job and perform. So these are explicit kind of responsibilities that you have, but also there are implicit responsibilities that you have, like being a civil person and doing your part in your citizenship, doing dishes and doing the laundry, taking care of yourself. These are implicit responsibilities. So one thing you can do is choose to take on another responsibility intentionally. So for example, suppose you're the type of person who just throws away everything in one garbage pile. Now, you can start implementing something like, I'm going to be responsible for recycling now. And not just for myself, I'm going to be the recycling guy in our household. And so when you do this, you take on a new mental load that you didn't have to experience before. And it doesn't have to be just about recycling, right? At your workplace, you can be the person who says, hey, you know what? From the next meeting on, I'm going to share the decks and I'm going to, facilitate the meeting and I'll take the notes. So by volunteering to be kind of the note taker in the meetings, you take on a new responsibility for yourself. So again, these types of responsibilities you didn't have to have before. So it is effectively the same thing as adding weights into your barbell so that you can do your mental bench presses. As you do that, hopefully both your physical and mental capacity and efficiency will improve. And the important thing about that, why is this so important? Well, it is the foundation of everything. There is a Korean drama called 미생, Saeng, and it is based on a Korean comic. And in that comic, the topic of the top comic is basically Go, Baduk. It's a Asian board game that's basically like chess, but all the pieces, all the stones play an equal role. So it's a more abstract version of chess. And this has a very competitive scene in East Asia. So the main character is somebody who plays semi-professionally. And one of the lessons that he learns as a kid is about energy and stamina. So I'm going to translate the cut to you. The first cut is saying, if you think something is worth devoting your life to, you have to develop stamina first. Laziness and being a slob and being tired of things, frustration, depression, rage. These are all things that happen because the spirit is governed by the body when your energy is depleted. The reason why you have a weak end game, the reason why you cannot recover quickly from a damage, the reason why you can't recover quickly from your blunder, these are all because of your energy limitations. When your energy is weak and your stamina is weak, you will seek comfort as soon as possible. And when you are in that state, you will have lowered patience. And when you cannot endure that fatigue, you will reach a point where winning or losing will not matter. If you want to win, you have to develop a body and mind that can withstand contemplation. Spiritual power means nothing without the armor of physical stamina. So I think this is the core lesson that I wanted to impart upon you today. Develop your stamina and energy, and watch yourself do the same things you have done over the years and how different it feels.